All right, there we go.
All right, testing 1, 2. You good?
Yep.
All right. Go. Oh shoot! Look at that background. Jeez. Okay. All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Dom and Gon Sports Talk pregame show. We're here breaking down Seahawks versus Ravens. The trade deadline has passed. There's so much to catch up on, so much to talk about, Gons. Before we do get into all that, though, you just celebrated a birthday. Now you're a year older. Happy birthday, man. How you feeling?
Appreciate that. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. I just turned 25 today. Halfway through my 20s. Another 5 years, and I'll be in the 30s. That's crazy to think of. But we're excited. I'm excited. It was went out to the National Harbor yesterday, had some food, had some drinks. It was a great time. Now, for my birthday gift, can we get a Ravens victory? And how about a Super Bowl? Is that too much? Is that too much to ask? I don't know why.
That. I don't know. I guess
perfect time. Up. Fireworks for a Ravens Super Bowl. So yeah,
man, I'll take it.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm ready to talk about this game. A lot of stuff coming up in Week 9. A lot of stuff, and we got to talk about that Steelers game as well. We'll break down the AFC North matchups this week. I'm excited. Ravens are at home. Let's get it done.
Let's get into it, man. So now, obviously, there's a lot of things we have to discuss coming into this game. Before we get into the game, we all know the trade deadline has just recently passed, and the Ravens decided not to make any moves. They decided to stay put with the roster that they have as currently constructed. They said, hey, we're kind of tied for first in the AFC. It's a 4-way tie. We're currently 6-2. I mean, they've been playing a lot of lights-out football. I don't really have a lot of problem with them staying put, especially because, again, there's so many people that have to be signed after this year. And the fact that, if we can't retain everyone, it's good to have those draft picks on standby, for us to be able to rebuild the team back up. I think DaCosta kind of looked at the risk factor and was just like, I think we're good. There were some names out there. You know what I mean? Chase Young, Montez Sweat did get moved. Former Washington Commanders defensive ends. Sweat went to the Bears. He actually just signed a 4-year, $98 million extension to stay in Chicago. And Chase Young, the rich get richer, gets traded to the Niners for a second or third round pick. So their defensive front just gets better. Chase Young was a name thrown around for the Ravens. Other than that, trade deadline was pretty quiet. But I'm pretty good with us not really making any moves heading into this. Gonz, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. And we talked about this last week too, about Derrick Henry potentially coming. I told you guys not to get your hopes up. And we already have that style of runner in Gus Edwards, so that would have been doing him dirty. The Ravens are confident in the team that they got. I mean, of course, you always want to make a great thing greater,
right?
Adding pieces, but when you already have Gus Edwards, I'm complete. And I said this last week too. I'm completely fine with it. We don't need Derrick Henry, especially now with the emergence of Will Levis playing pretty well. They don't really want to get rid of him either. So I'm fine with standing pat, honestly. And defensively, the depth players are rising to the challenge. I mean, Geno Stone's got most interceptions in the NFL right now, and he's on historic pace. He's on Ed Reed pace right now. 5 interceptions in 8 games is incredible. Absolutely incredible. What else? Yeah, Brandon Stevens, Ronald Darby. I mean, the way the depth players are playing in the secondary, there's just no reason for them to trade for someone else. So if we can stay healthy, this team has a real chance to do something. So I'm completely fine with the Ravens standing pat here as we wind down the trading. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's good that we're staying, like, the team chemistry can stay how it was. And, there's no implementation of any, new guys that have to learn the system. I'm definitely cool with it.
The AFC really hasn't done much.
I agree.
A lot of went to the NFC. Yeah. Chase Young, 49ers, Montez Sweat, the Bears. I mean, the 49ers want to upgrade that pass rush because it has been sleepwalking recently. Nick Bosa hasn't done much of anything. They're really struggling to get to the quarterback. So they are trying to make magic happen. Thankfully, he didn't go to somebody like Bengals or Steelers. They all stay in the NFC. So we're all good to go.
Nice.
Steelers are intact with their team. Same for the Bengals. Bengals deciding not to trade T. Higgins. So they're really going to have to figure out what's going to be done with him financially.
Are they going to pay him?
I mean, do they have enough money? They got to pay Chase. They got to pay. They already paid Burrow. I wonder how Joe Mixon's contract looks too. I haven't looked into it.
Too. I don't know when he's up for a re-up.
Team for a long time. He's been there since 2017. So he's been on there for 6 years. Just curious. But they're going to have to pay some people eventually. We'll see. We'll see how they handle it. But hopefully T. Higgins will be out of there by the offseason. Because I'm tired of dealing with him. I'm tired of it.
He's the one who tore us up in the first game. So.
If you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, all they have is Jamar Chase and T. Higgins right now. And Tyler Boyd's effective too in the slot. But if you take away one of those guys, that might be a little bit more of a
could be more detrimental.
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Ravens decided to stay put. A lot of the other contending teams, as we said in the AFC, also decided to stay put. No really any major moves. I mean, the Jags, they picked up an offensive lineman to help protect Trevor Lawrence. Let's see. The Bills did trade for Rasul Douglas to help out that secondary. Acquired him from the Packers. But other than that, I mean, like I said, the Chiefs stayed put. Dolphins stayed put. Bengals stayed put. Like, I mean, other than that, like the other teams are, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and those are the guys we're pretty much competing with right now. Mm-hmm. And we've proven, I feel like right now we've kind of proven that we can stand toe-to-toe with these guys because no one in the AFC has looked perfect. Mm-hmm. That's for daggone sure. Mm-hmm. So now the trade deadline news is coming. Now the trade deadline's come and gone. The news is done. We can get into this Ravens versus Seahawks. Let's talk about this injury report. Now, on the Ravens side of things, Odell Beckham Jr. didn't participate on Wednesday due to a shoulder injury, but he had full practices Thursday and Friday with no injury designation, so it looks like he'll be good to go for Friday. Let's see. Morgan Moses with a shoulder injury did not participate pretty much all week, so he is doubtful to play, so we probably will not most likely be seeing him.
And that's something to keep your eye on because Morgan Moses has done a pretty decent job on the edge this year. So we're really going to need to have Pat McCarry, who I'm assuming they're going to slide over there at right tackle on Sunday, to really have a nice game. Because I'm not too familiar with the Seahawks edge rushers, but I know they can get after the quarterback at times. So we really need a good game from the O-line this time.
Agreed. Let's see who else. Marcus Williams, who has been limited this week in practice due to his hamstring injury. Me and Gonz have talked about this a couple of times off camera. My personal opinion, I would not mind not seeing Marcus out there on Sunday. I just really want him to get back to 100%, and that means he has to take more time off. I'm okay with that. I'm more worried about his health more than anything right now. And, you know, if we don't see him, I'm okay with that. So let's see how they decide to play him going forward. But he is questionable for this game. So we
talked about this. We talked about this just a second ago about him back into the lineup with Geno Stone playing so well. Because I would hate for them to take Geno Stone out. Like I just said a few minutes ago, he's on historic numbers. He's on historic pace. Ed Reed-like numbers. So you really don't want to really take him out. So what I'm anticipating, if they want all of them on the field, they'll just take Hamilton, slide him into the box, off the edge. He could blitz. He could, play the tight end, play man coverage on Noah Fant, because that's who the Seattle Seahawks have at tight end right now. Pretty solid one. And then have Geno Stone and Marcus Williams back deep if they choose to go that direction. I would rather do that than completely sub out.
Yeah, Hamilton is like super versatile, so we can insert him, and I'm pretty sure he'll be effective. So if Marcus Williams and Geno is up there playing up top, you slide Hamilton down to the box. I mean, you have three of our playmakers out there able to do whatever they can out there on the field, and I'm super okay with that. So, but I'm also okay Marcus take your time, get better, get healthy, because our schedule does not get easier, and we're going to need you in that later half of the stretch. So get healthy, man. Just focus on yourself right now. Just don't risk yourself, please. Let's see who else is on this injury report. Dale Worley was a full participant in practice all week with that shoulder injury. He is still questionable to play 9 out of 10. He probably will. So that should be okay in that front. Rock Yassin did not practice on Wednesday and Thursday, but had a full practice on Friday. So 9 times out of 10, he will be playing. Other than that, Odafe Owe, 2 full practices this week, no injury designation. Ronnie Stanley also practiced twice this week, no injury designation. Keaton Mitchell, Gus Edwards, both practiced this week. Didn't both practice on Tuesday, but both practiced on Wednesday, but practiced Thursday and Friday, so they have no injury designation, so they'll be good to go. But yeah, so on the Ravens front, looks like we'll be coming into this game again relatively healthy, so we should be okay. Seattle, coming into their injuries. Jamal Adams, looks like he was on rest for a knee injury, but he has no injury designation, so he'll probably be playing on Sunday. Let's see. Looks like some offensive linemen are questionable to come in. Anthony Bradford, Phil Haynes, both questionable. With both have knee injuries, so they're questionable to play. Tyler Lockett had a hamstring injury, did not practice on Wednesday, but did have a limited practice, so he doesn't have an injury designation, so we'll probably see him on Sunday. Metcalf, hip injury, didn't practice on Thursday, but looks like he was good on Friday, so I'm guessing we'll probably be seeing him as well. And Wagner
and Tyler Lockett, they both don't have injury designations,
yes,
so they'll both be out there.
like they'll be good on
but
Sunday.
They are
Bobby
dealing
Wagner
with issues, so we'll see. That's
see
something
how
to monitor
it affects their
as
game.
the game goes.
Yeah. And Bobby Wagner, who was on rest for most part, he didn't practice on Thursday, but he does have a designation, so we'll probably see him on Sunday as well, which is a little scary because he is a hard hitter, so I don't want us getting smacked over the middle. So please
hold on to the football, please.
Please
hold on to the football.
Please, Bobby Wagner is not for the weak. Be mindful over the
Justice
middle.
Hill,
oh my goodness!
Please hold on to the ball. Thank you.
Please, geez Louise. But other than that, that's pretty much the injury report. Nobody too major looks like we're going to miss this game. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be pretty much full matchup. 2 great teams going at it, a 5-2 versus a 6-2. Now, let's get over to the Ravens' key to the game. I think right now, the main focus that I kind of want to start with is defense. I say defense because at this point right now, we're facing another team with a very dynamic receiving core. And we just mentioned those names, Metcalf, Lockett, JSN, who I think Gino was trying to build more trust with as the season goes on. Like, these guys are not scrubs. They're probably one of the better receiving cores in this league right now. Like, Tyler Lockett, he may be – I mean, he's not – I won't say he's old, but he's still elusive. And he can still catch the deep ball. There's no questioning about him. Metcalf is an agitator. Okay, like he will get under your skin as much as you can get under his. So I'm hoping with Metcalf, if we're pissing him off, I'm hoping he's not pissing us off just as much because we don't need the penalties. So I think one of the keys for the game is making sure that we're really watching these receivers and playing great coverage, but also that also goes into the pass rush. So let's get to Gino before he can get out to Lockett and Metcalf, JSN, fan. Like, oh my gosh, damn, they got some people to throw to. Like, it's just, let's make sure we're getting to Gino. So, Clowney, Van Noy, Owe, let's get out there and let's go get him. Clowney, this is the 4th team. Well, actually, I don't know. Did Clowney play in that Texas game? Or am I tripping?
He did.
He did?
Yeah. He played in the Texas game, I thought.
Okay. So, this would be the 4th team that Clowney, if he beats this team, he would have beaten all 4 teams he's played with in his career.
Wow.
So, Clowney, if you want some redemption, go get him. So let's get Gino, make him uncomfortable, force him into some bad reads.
Which he's done this year.
Which he has
Made some bad throws. He has turned the ball over a ton in the red zone, especially in that Bengals game. They had 3 red zone trips in the second half, came away with 3 points. Interceptions on 2 of them, and then a turnover on down. So Gino has, I believe, 9 touchdowns and 6 interceptions on the air. So he is definitely prone to make some mistakes. I think that's where the game's going to be won and lost because there's no question the wide receivers are going to get their production because they're really good.
They're really,
Um,
really good, yeah.
Now, can we limit Gino and force him into mistakes? And that should give us the dub on defense, in my opinion. Take advantage of the poor reads or a fumble. Gino can move, so yeah, he can extend plays. He can run. He's not super fast, but he can definitely get it done. So keep him in the pocket, hit him, rattle him, and take advantage of his mistakes, and we should be fine on defense. And continue to make tackles. I
Agreed.
also want to say Kenneth Walker, keep him in check too.
Limiting Kenneth Walker. Yeah, that was going to be the next point.
Yeah, sorry. Year 2, I beat you to it. Year 2, running back for the Seahawks. This is their guy. He's their franchise running back. No questions about it. He was very productive as a rookie. Looks really good now, so we can't let him get going. The Ravens have been gashed recently by running backs. I mean, Cardinals rushed for 130 yards. And then Zach Moss back in that Week 3 debacle loss had over 100 yards as well. So we can't let these guys get going. It'll make it that much easier for these pass rushers.
Agreed. Kenneth Walker has been really emerging himself as running back 1, and he's had some great performances. Shoot, I have him on my fantasy team, so I'm hoping that, but I probably won't start him this weekend. But yeah, so I feel like limiting Kenneth Walker is very key. Like, he can go off for 100 at any given day of the week. He's quick, he's elusive, he's powerful, great runner. So we have to make sure we're containing him so they're not trying to open up anything else downfield, because once he gets going, they can get the play action going, and once that starts going, it's pretty much GG's. So we have to make sure we're holding him to minimum, at least, and that's easier said than done. We're making sure we're holding him to not many great yards per run. Let's see, anything else? I mean, I feel like that's about it, right? I mean, limiting Kenneth Walker, making sure we get Geno down to the ground. Well, I mean, even if we're just pressuring him, I'm okay with that too. And just making sure that DK isn't really getting under our skin. Like I mentioned earlier, DK Metcalf is an agitator. As great of a receiver as he is, because we all know he's an amazing receiver, he's an agitator. He knows how to get under people's skin. He knows how to piss people off. And he gets pissed off pretty easily too. So, I mean, if we could draw some fouls, get some calls on him, he gets called for a couple of unsportsmanlike shoves. You know what I mean? He's been seeing you see the clips on Twitter. So, try not to let him get under our skin. Let's try to limit the penalties. No need for any unnecessary BS. Just get out there, play the game, and let's just go out there and get the dub in a better controlled environment. Like, we're home. So let's not let them rock us in our house. Okay?
We're home. It's an early kickoff. They're a West Coast team, so this will be an early day for them. 1 o'clock Eastern time is, doing some math here early, 10 a.m. for Seattle back at their home. So we'll see how they do. How I'm not sure. I have to do some more research on it. I'm not sure how Seattle has handled early kickoffs this year. But that might be something to keep an eye on as well. Depends on when they're going to fly out to Baltimore. Maybe they're doing it probably already there by now.
Probably.
So keep an eye on that. They might be a little bit out of sync early just because of the time change. So we'll see.
We'll see. It's going to be a good one. Defense has to show up for this one, just like they have been all year. I'm not going to question that because they've been playing lights out for the most part. Let's show up for another one. We should be okay. Now, on to the offense. Just going to relay this because we say it every week, but I just want to make sure that we fully understand the scope of what I'm about to say. Hold on to the foot. Okay, I don't want to have to say this every week. I know it's kind of the job, but please, can we hold on to the football? I want you to understand who is going to be in the middle of the field. Bobby Wagner. Okay, for all those who don't know who Bobby Wagner is, okay, picture like a deer running in front of a freight train. Okay? Let's not get it twisted. Bobby Wagner is a hard hitter. Okay, be aware of who's over the middle of the field and be cautious of defenders trying to punch the ball out. Okay, let's hold on to the football.
I don't want to see any punches. I'm tired of seeing.
I am
And I,
too. It's
I don't
very
want to see any
frustrating.
botched handoffs either.
Yeah,
Hand the
dude,
ball off or
yeah,
don't. Communicate what's going to happen. The hesitation is what's key. On those fumbles where the exchange is bad between Hill and Lamar, those are a communication type of thing. They can iron that out in practice. Okay, that's
agreed.
not the opponent doing anything. That's you simply just giving them the
Just
ball. All right,
giving it back.
we don't want to see any of those. Okay, find a way to make sure Justice Hill is knowing what you're doing with the ball, Lamar. If you're going to pull it, make sure he is aware of that in the moment right there. Practice that.
Communication.
I'm going to knock on wood right now. It's looking better. It's been better on the botched handoffs, at least. Still, the only peanut punch thing that I saw last week was Gus Edwards coughing up the ball, but he sat on it and got it back, thankfully. I mean, every single week we're still seeing the ball get jarred out. Can we eliminate that completely? That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. I know we got it back in the 0 turnovers, but can we just not fumble at all?
Yes, no fumbles, please.
Something else, and we're going to. I want to talk about this when we talk about the Steelers-Titans game that we watched on Thursday. Pittsburgh never turns the ball over. They never fumble. The only time they turn the ball over is with a Pickett interception. I've never seen a fumble, or recently I've never seen a fumble. Najee Harris might not be very good, but one thing's for damn sure, he won't fumble the ball. And that's how the Steelers get their wins. These turnovers, they capitalize on them. Don't give Seattle any chance to get going. Okay? A little fumble in the red zone, don't do that. Don't do it, because that could start a trend of bad things. We all know how this team responds when we get punched in the mouth. They don't respond too well consistently. Okay? When you saw it in the Steelers game, you saw it in the Colts game, those fumbles turn the game. And yeah, we could dictate all that to red zone struggles, drops, and all that. But if the Ravens were driving on that Steelers game at the 50-yard line on the screen pass to Justice Hill with 5 minutes left in the half, if he doesn't fumble that, we most likely go on to score something on that drive as well. And we run out the remaining clock. Same for the Colts. We were up 7-0 with the ball, little screen pass to Drake all the way down to the 10-yard line, fumble. And we never recovered after that. Same for the Steelers. Got punched in the mouth, never got our offense back going. So we need to be able to, number one is don't turn it over, like you said. And number two, if something happens like that, we need to be able to rebound and respond accordingly and not just go to sleep and say, oh, well, we fumbled. Now we're going to struggle the whole game. You need to rebound because shit happens. Excuse my French. It does. In the NFL, it's a lot of fluke stuff that happens. So you need to respond. Where the championships are won is how these teams respond to adversity. Okay? Because it's not going to be pretty every week. So we just need the Baltimore Ravens to, if something goes wrong, make it right. Rebound. Don't let it get to you, and you'll be okay.
Agreed.
You'll be okay.
Agreed. I think this game will be won in the trenches. Okay.
As always, all these football
as
games
always, in the trenches. Like, these guys, pass protection will have to be on point, like you said. And Wosu is not someone to scarf at. They also have Boye Mafe out there.
Isn't Nwosu on IR?
Is he on IR? I didn't know he was out. I thought he was out there. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check on that. But again, still, like, we have to make sure that our pass protection is there. Okay, because the offensive line, I mean, we've been boasting about them all year. So they just have to keep that. And against great pass rushing teams, like Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, I mean, TJ, Alex Highsmith, like, these aren't bad pass rushing duos. So if we can do that, we can be successful. But we have to keep Lamar upright. And I think the Seahawks' key to success, I saw something on Twitter from Devin Witherspoon, their rookie DB, who's been playing really great this year. I don't know if this is exactly what he said, but he was talking about keeping Lamar in the pocket and not letting him get out of the pocket. And I'm not going to lie to you, like, I don't really know if that's a hindrance to Lamar, because we've seen him in the pocket slice and dice. So I feel as though right now, like, if you want to keep Lamar in the pocket, go ahead and do that. But you're just asking to get sliced and diced, your defense to get sliced and diced, because he'll find the wide open guy. He's going to get the pass there. He's been doing it a lot this year.
I will respond to that, though. he does need to do a better job of getting the ball out when needed, especially in the Giants game. Not Giants. I just got a notification. Sorry. In the Cardinals, a Discord notification from a guy named Giants. That's why I said that. In the Cardinals game, the pass protection was pretty good all day, but we still got sacked like 3 times or so, right? Was it 2 or 3 times?
I think it was
I
about
don't
like
remember.
2. I think it was 2.
Those sacks were generated from holding the ball too long. If it's covered, check it down or throw it away. Because I know here's the difference between Lamar right now as a passer versus our previous quarterback, Joe Flacco, by the end of his year. Joe Flacco was looking to check it down almost every time. By the end of his career in 2018, he was they called him Mr. Checkdown. Even though he was playing a little bit better for those first 6 games before he got hurt than in previous years, ever since he tore his knee up in 2015 when he tore his ACL, he just was never the same quarterback, always checking it down, never looking deep that often. You know, the deep shots were very sparing. Now you go to Lamar Jackson, and this dude wants the big play every time. He's always looking down the field. There's a guy wide open for 5 yards. He's still looking down the field. He does not want to check it down, and I don't mind that at all. But there's a time and a place where you do need to take your check down, okay? So if the pass protection holds up and nothing's down the field, give it to your back. Run it to your back. Give it to a tight end on a check down, check and release, or, a little flare route, pop pass, doesn't matter. Don't be afraid to check it down on some plays. That's the only criticism I'll say, and it's not even a criticism because Lamar's doing a great job. You okay?
No, I'm not, because we forgot to mention the one trade this year that impacted us literally just this week.
Oh, the Leonard Williams trade.
Leonard Williams.
We'll be on that.
Completely forgot about that.
Let me finish this thought real quick. Yeah, so especially we can tie him into this conversation. Leonard Williams on the defensive line. Just get the ball out quick, okay? And you don't have to go deep every single play. And a lot of people were saying, oh, the Cardinals may have found the blueprint for Lamar Jackson because he didn't do well and he had 160 yards passing. Those are easily fixable. There were people open on checkdowns. Just hit them. If they're going to sit back and play cover 4, those of you who don't know what a cover 4 is in football, you've got 4 deep safeties, and you've got people playing the sidelines, and usually 1 or 2 people in the middle. Nobody's really covering those little 1 to 2 yard routes, like a little in route from running back or a little flare route. So utilize those. So all that BS about the blueprint for beating the Ravens, if you're going to sit back in zone coverage and send 4, we'll figure it out. Lamar just needs to check it down a little bit more. That's all. I'm not going to say become a Joe Flacco from 2017 and check it down every pass, but if it's not there consistently, you can get it to Gus Edwards. You can get it to Justice Hill. You can get it to a tight end, or even Patrick Ricard. Patrick Ricard can catch too. Just, utilize every aspect of the field. You don't have to get it all in one play. You can do nice, slow, methodical drives throughout the game. And especially now that we got Leonard Williams coming to town in the middle, you might get some interior pressure. So you need to make sure you know where to go with the football and just be smart about it. Don't have to get it all in one play. Spread the ball around. Make them clamp up on the underneath stuff. So then you can open up those deep shots down the field. So that's the one thing I'll say about, Lamar Jackson and his pocket presence. Because, yes, he's improving by the year. You can see it. This offense looks good for him. You just need to make sure that you're utilizing every route that you have on the field.
I agree. The checkdowns, if the checkdowns are there, take them. Like those are the plays that can open up downfield. Like for our dynamic pass catchers, like Zay, Nelson Aguilar with his hands, and even getting OBJ more opportunities. Take the checkdowns. Because checkdowns, we have the guys who can turn a 5-yard check down into like a 10-yard game. So I feel as though take the checkdowns, take every opportunity you can get against a defense that might not allow you to move that much.
Yeah.
Because we're going up against another really good secondary with young corners who are hungry, in Tariq Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, Quandre Diggs. Like, these guys are good. These are no slouches. And then you got Leonard Williams, Boye Mafe. Frank Clark also re-signed with the team this year after he was released from the Broncos.
Did you see if Nwosu was on IR?
Nwosu is not in the lineup, so I believe he is on IR. It looks like he's not on the depth chart, so he won't be playing. So, but you got, again, Mafe, Leonard Williams, Then you got Draymond Jones, like Taylor, these guys are not scrubs. So definitely keeping Lamar upright will be the key to success in this game and holding that defensive pressure, because we've seen what Lamar looks like when he gets uncomfortable, which can cause the F word that we mentioned earlier in the show, and we don't need any more of those. So let's try to make sure we're containing that pressure. Frank Clark is not it's not like he's not new to us. Like we played against him a couple of times already. We kind of know the deal with him. So Leonard Williams was a huge pickup for the Seahawks, who are trying to make a run in the NFC West with their 5-2 record, because they're not really that far behind if you really want to get, because of what the Seahawks already lost 3 in a row so far. So the Niners have lost 3 in a row so far. So any given day at that point. So yeah, Lamar, take your checkdowns when necessary. Hold on to the ball, please. And, let's, again, continue to consistently keep feeding different receivers, keep giving guys more opportunities, because, the receivers have been playing very, very well ever since that drop fest in Pittsburgh, and they're really reclaiming themselves as a really good receiver corps, so I can't really wait to see what those opportunities look like. Gus Edwards, let's give Gus is ready for a bigger workload, man. He said it in a presser like a couple of days ago. He said he's ready. And I'm saying, shoot, let's feed him if he's ready, because when you have 94 total yards and 3 touchdowns, you're just asking for it. You're asking for the ball, and he should receive it, because he's been playing very, very well. So I think the more opportunity he gets, the more confident he gets, the more carries he gets, he's just going to be even better as the year begins to wear on to get into the playoffs. So
how's the Seahawks run defense?
Let's actually take a look at that. Let's take a look at their stats so far this year, as far as how much the run defense
the addition of Leonard Williams is definitely going to help.
It's going to help that interior a lot. Let's look at the Seahawks run D.
I think, it's going to be a challenge now with that new addition. But I still think we need to give Gus his carries, just like you said, to your point. You got to get him going. That will just make your life so much easier. And again, he can turn a 1-yard gain or a run that just gets back to the line of scrimmage into 2 or 3 yards, because he's just so hard to bring down.
He is.
So I really love. I'm a huge Gus Edwards fan. I really love that style of running backs, and it's good that the Ravens have him. I just wish they used him a little bit more at times. I hate when they sub him out on the goal line.
Yeah,
I hate that. I just want him on the field every time they're in the red zone, because you just never know what's going to happen. And last week it was a beautiful thing to see him score 3 touchdowns. We're going 4 for 4 in the red zone. That's one other thing I wanted to point out before we give our score predictions. Red zone efficiency. Let's keep that going. Okay, we've scored on almost every single red zone drive in the last 2 games. 4 last week, and then we went 5 for 6 against the Lions. So a grand total of 9 for 10. 9 touchdowns on 10 drives in the red zone is wonderful. 90%. So let's keep that streak going, okay? Because put up more points. And if you look at it on the other side of things, the Seahawks red zone offense has not looked very good. As we talked about, Geno Smith throwing a lot of interceptions in the red zone, especially in that Bengals matchup that they should have won. Bengals looked terrible on offense after, storming out of the gate, but Geno couldn't get it going. If we can force those same mistakes in the red zone, and then if we capitalize on that we could potentially look at a runaway game.
We could. And back to your question about the Seahawks run defense, they are ranked 16th in run defense.
Okay. So middle of the pack, literally.
So they're ranked 16th in total defense. And as far as passing yards allowed, they are ranked 22 in the league for passing yards allowed, and for the run, they're ranked 8th.
Okay, so they have a
pretty stout run defense
with Bobby Wagner and now Leonard Williams. So I still think you need to run the ball, keep them honest. Looking at the secondary, we forgot to address this. Reek Woolen, their stud rookie from last year, now in year 2. Very good. He's everything you want in a cornerback. He's got the height. He's got the speed. He's got the hands. I don't think he has any interceptions yet this year, so let's keep it that way. I'm not sure. I may be wrong. Don't quote me on that. And then, of course, Devin Witherspoon. They've got a good secondary brewing over there in Seahawks world over there. They also have Quandre Diggs and the secondary playing free safety, who's kind of stepped up for them over the years. And, Jamal Adams. How could I forget him? Finally back from injuries. This is the most game time he's had all year. All career with the Seahawks, because last year he got hurt week 1 and missed the season. Am I correct on that, Dom?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah. I don't even think he really played that much last season at all.
So, yeah, he'll be there. He'll be there tomorrow. Jamal Adams,
Diggs,
Reek Woolen. I mean, this defense is good. The stats don't look that good on the pass, but they've got names on there.
Yeah, everyone in their secondary has pretty much had a pick. I mean, Julian Love, the safety, has a pick. Quandre Diggs, Quandre Diggs has a pick. Witherspoon has a pick. Trey Brown has 2 picks. Reek Woolen has 1. So, I mean, they get after the ball. Make no mistake about it. So we're going to have to be very precise with passing because this secondary is no joke.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping they take that in consideration when Lamar's out there throwing the ball.
And we need to make sure we're in rhythm on offense, because that was another thing we talked about in the post-game wrap-up for the Cardinals game. Things just looked a little out of sync in the passing game. Not getting rid of the ball, the timing on routes, the spacing on routes where people are bumping into each other. I mean, we need to be crisp. We need to be crisp. Don't give any advantages to the Seahawks at all. Because if you're running routes in the same direction and you're bumping into each other, I mean, that's just gonna give the defense all the advantage in the world. They don't have to do as much work to cover 2 routes. So we just need to be smart right there, and we'll be fine. I think the Ravens. Let's go ahead and do our predictions now. I think the Ravens can do this. I'm not going to predict a runaway game, but I could definitely see it happening. I think the Ravens take this one. I'm going to say 21-17. Or, you know what? I'll give the Seahawks another touchdown. I'll say 28-21.
Yeah, I'm not really too far from you. I'm going to go with 24-21. I feel like this might come down to a Tucker game winner. I feel like I've called a Tucker game winner a couple of times, and it hasn't been that way, so I'm hoping that he doesn't prove me wrong.
Oh, great point. That's a great point. Go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, but I think this one is going to be very back and forth affair. Maybe not too many consistent scoring possessions, but it's going to be a couple of them, and the Ravens will probably win it in a nail biter, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. But you brought up Justin Tucker. The Ravens special teams, not what we've been used to. Okay? There's been a handful of misses by Tucker, a punt blocked, a field goal's blocked, point after's blocked. I mean, and miscommunications on the punt returns. I'm flashing back to that Colts game where they called for a fair catch before the 2-minute warning. Maybe we've taken it for granted over the years because we've had the best special teams in the NFL for years, it felt like. Back when our teams were not that good, like when our offense was pretty mid and the defense was just okay, we always had that rock-hard special teams to always be there for us. Justin Tucker kicking 7 field goals a game for a struggling offense that couldn't get in the end zone under Flacco and Marty Morningwig. But now they look human. The unit looks human, and we need to clean up some of these things. They're giving up some nice returns as well. I've seen lots of blocking. So never take special teams for granted. They could turn the game. It turned the game in Pittsburgh, that block punt that was recovered for a safety. We need to just tighten it up a little bit. It's a little bit sloppy. And Justin Tucker missing from 53, not his sharpest look. And inside, too. The Cardinals play in a dome. And he hit the post. Like, that's just not characteristic. Again, maybe our standards are so high because we've had...
Yeah, we have been spoiled. We have been spoiled.
But Justin Tucker has missed a handful of kicks this year, at least 3 through 8 weeks. So we need to get that tightened up. That 53-yarder, you can make the argument, yeah, whatever, he missed the 61-yarder in Colts. It was raining. But it's like, I think he can do a little bit more. A little bit better on some things. The fine details mean the whole world in this sport. So, okay, cool.
Yeah, but I agree. Special teams definitely need to tighten it up a little bit more, especially, again, because our schedule gets so much more tougher at this later part of the season. We're going to need to be clicking on all cylinders for every phase of the game. So offense, defense, and special teams. It matters.
Yeah.
It definitely does matter. So
Make the
hoping
tackles on the returns. Make your PATs. If the field goal is makeable, execute it. Don't get it blocked. And don't get your punts blocked anymore. I can't believe, that Steelers game was just so fluky. But anyway.
Yeah. So, looks like, So let's see how this game goes against the Seahawks. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock at M&T Bank Stadium. Gonz, any more thoughts before we get up out of
Nope.
here?
I'm good to go. See how this game goes tomorrow, and we can wrap this up on Monday. Hopefully it's a victory Monday.
Hope we come back to see you guys on Victory Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We will let you guys know how we feel about that game. Hopefully we can come back and let you guys know the Ravens had a great game. Hopefully the blood pressure stays at a medium level.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap it up for you guys, and we will see you guys on Monday evening. I'm Dom. That's Gonz. Thanks for joining us for another Dom and Gonz Sports Talk pregame show. We are signing off.
See you guys Monday. Enjoy football Sunday.